Well, hello there all you absolutely magnificent people, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we are back in Empire of the Ants. And, well, this, and I'll tell you more about that at the end of the episode, may be the last one we do for a while in this game, but stay tuned for more news about that. For now, however, we do have to quickly pop in by the Queen because, well, we have got no other missions available. So hopefully we'll be able to come back and do the one with the fireflies in a moment. But for now, let's quickly have a look and see what the Queen has to say. Oh, something about the Exodus. So we are leaving this Tayukan colony. So Queen Tayuni has something to say. Let's see, what have you got to say?
The champion of Queen Kiuni returns. Thanks to your successes, we now have a chance to survive this flood.
Oh, and I just left the Queen's like, okay, bye. Okay, let's quickly see again. I believe that some of my sisters are still in need of help.
Good, 103683. We are blessed by your presence.
Alright, okay, so does that mean, yes, that does mean we can actually just carry on with some of the missions before actually going to the next area. Now, I wanted to do, I believe, behind enemy lines. Yes, buying time is a strategic mission, holding the line is a tactical mission, and then of course here behind enemy lines is an exploration mission, and that is what I wanted to do today. Hello sister, what have you got to say? 103683, I'm looking for the most experienced scouts around. Termites have moved close to Tayukan. We need to know how many there are and what they are planning. Scout the area, don't be detected. Gather as much information as possible and come back alive with the intel we need. Ready? Yes, indeed, I am ready to go. Let's see what this mission is about. Now, this is a nighttime mission, so you can see here we've got some glowworms. Hello there. Oh, we're going to look at them in a moment. And I am the only individual here. I've got no legions available. We are not fighting at all. We are just exploring this region here. We are trying to scout and trying to find out where all the termite mounds are, how many there are. Look, there are some nice ones over there as well. You can see there's a bunch of soldiers moving around, and we have to try and not be detected by them. That is the idea, at least. Now, before we actually go and do that, we may as well have a look at the glowworms, because, wow, you can see quite a few of them around. Wow, yes, these are definitely females. So, with glowworms like these, I mean, these are either larvae or females of the, most likely, the European firefly, which of course we had encountered previously, but only the males actually fly. These are not fireflies, these are fire cits, because, well, females don't actually fly around. Instead, they resemble the larvae. They are what we call larviform, meaning they've got the shape and appearance of larvae. Now, how do I know this is not actually just a larva of the firefly? Because, well, glowworms is also a term used to describe the larvae of the fireflies, although glowworm can also refer to a bunch of other species as well. There are some click beetles, like the one I've got up there, but not this species in particular, but some species in the click beetle group will also have larvae that, and adults in some cases, that produce light. They are also known as glowworms. And in Australia and New Zealand, there are about 5 species of Arachnocampa, a type of fungus gnat found in caves there. If you watch the movie Surf's Up, there was a scene where there are these blue glowing strands in the cave. And well, those are the larvae of the fungus gnats in the Arachnocampa genus. They are also known as glowworms. But these ones almost certainly would be the common European firefly, Lampyris noctiluca. And Lampyris meaning shining ones, and noctis is of course night, luna, lumen, light. So these are the shining ones that are the night lights. So that is quite cool. Now, how do I know these are not larvae? Well, first of all, the larvae would not just have light on these last, technically supposed to be on the last 3 abdominal segments. Looks like it may be on 4 in this one here, but it's supposed to be on 3 of the last abdominal segments. The larvae wouldn't only have light being emitted from there. They would also, on each of these other segments of the body, they would have a bit of light being emitted. The females, on the other hand, will only be producing light from their last abdominal segments, not producing all along their body side. Now, I remember as a kid, thinking back on it, I remember seeing both larvae and adult females of glowworms here in South Africa, because I remember distinctly seeing some glowworms that actually did have a little bit of light being emitted on the sides of each of these abdominal segments, and some of them only produced at the bottom there. So what these ones are doing now is they are trying to attract the attention of the males. The males, we can't see them flying around, although technically they would be flying about a meter off the ground. They'd be flying around, and they are attracted to these females. Now the brightness of the light of each of these females, which I believe can be seen up to about 45 meters away, so that's, 130 feet away? That's quite a bright light. The males can see it, and they are attracted to it, and the brighter the light, the more likely the males are to go to that light, because the brightness of the light may be an indication of the size of the female and the fecundity of that female. In other words, fecundity is just a term used to describe how many offspring she would be able to bear. Larger individuals would be able to lay more eggs, so more young being produced. So a male will be attracted to a brighter lit female. But each one of these can also, to some extent at least, control the brightness of their light, simply by getting more oxygen to the membrane that contains the luciferin, the compounds that are broken apart in order to make these lights. So they've got an enzyme, the luciferase enzymes, so it can be a bunch of different enzymes, but they use that to break apart the luciferin compounds. And in the process, a lot of light is being produced. And by getting more oxygen to the membranes where that luciferin is located, they can increase the brightness of the light. Now, you will see that these ones are, or most of them at least, are doing this tail wagging behavior. There we go, there it is doing it again. That is to actually advertise the location of this female to any males flying around. By lifting up the abdomen and exposing it to the area up there, it makes it easier for males to actually spot the females when they are flying overhead. So this is a way to say, listen man, here I am, come to me. And she has about 10 days to try and do this. They're not very long-lived, these females. It seems a lot of fireflies, when they're adults, they actually are surviving on reserves of the food they ate as larvae. So they eat a lot. They're very ferocious predators as larvae, mostly feeding, especially Lamperus noctiluca over here, will be feeding on slugs and snails, which can be up to 200 times their size. Imagine eating a burger the size of your house. That is just amazing. And the way they do that is because, well, they've got venomous compounds that they actually inject into the snails and slugs. They bite them. It's literally death by 1,000 cuts, but with venom. They inject that into the snail, they kill it, and then they feed on it. And that's just amazing. It's not as potent, obviously, as snake venom, but it is a toxic compound, and because it is technically being injected into the snails and slugs, I prefer calling it a venom. It's not a poison. You don't ingest it and then die. Instead, they inject it into their prey, the snails and the slugs they are feeding on, and then they die by death by 1,000 nips and tucks. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. And then, as they get to maturity, like these ones are here, they will tend to come up to the surface here, generally a few hours a night. The females will be sitting on the surface of, like in this case, fern fronds, or any surface that the males can actually see them, and they will have enough reserves to sit like this for about 10 days. Every night they come out, they glow like this, and then they retreat back to the undergrowth during the day, so they're not exposed to predators, daytime predators. So they will come up, they will shine their light, and then after about 10 days, most of them would be dead. So each one only lives for about 10 days. And then if she is successful in attracting a male to mate with, he will mate with her. She will then stop shining, because what's the point of doing it anymore? She will go to the leaf litter and find a nice moist place and lay between 50 and 100 eggs. And after doing that, she dies. That is the end of this glowworm over here. They are what we call semelparous, meaning that they reproduce once and then they die. They never see their young ones grow up. They never have a second attempt at breeding. If they have laid their eggs, they will die. They have spent all their energy doing that. And in the end, I mean, that is their goal. An organism like these little glowworms here are considered successful if they manage to reproduce. They're just brilliant. I would love to see them in my garden. Hopefully one day we will have them there, shining away. And something interesting to note, though, is apparently that firefly adults lack mouth parts. So, yeah, they can't even eat. It's very similar to mayflies as well, which don't even have a proper digestive system, so they don't even have the ability to eat. So they rely completely on... Ooh, almost jumped off. So they rely completely on the food they gather as larvae. So yeah, I love these guys. They are absolutely amazing. Well, I would say I love these girls, actually, because, well, they're all females. Alright, so let's now actually do what we are supposed to do in this mission. And as you can see there, the idea is to gather information without being detected. We've got to find 2 enemy nests, 4 enemy gunners, and we've got to find and scan structures, 3 of them. We've got to find and scan. So, let's actually start on the one side, shall we? Let's head in this direction. Now, I would expect gunners to be somewhere on a high location, like that, for example. Okay, so they've got the range. Now, best way, I think, at least, to stay undetected is to use the high ground. Because as we learned from Obi-Wan, it's over once you have the high ground. Let's use these ferns. I mean, they really resemble bracken fern in the Pteridium genus. We've got bracken fern in South Africa as well. Pteridium aquilinum, I believe it is, that we've got here. They are extremely successful ferns. Very, very tough leaves, maybe carcinogenic. Oh, there we go. There's a group of soldiers. We don't want to be spotted by them. Almost looks like stinging nettle that we've got over here. Luckily, it shouldn't be affecting us. Now, of course, there is this nice log over here that we can also use to actually circumvent all the enemies in this general area. And here we can see why it is called a glowworm, moving about in a very, very caterpillar-like fashion. Oh, this is a beautiful shot. Oh, there are some things moving there. Ooh, spiderlings. Now that is something we should be avoiding. We did find a point of interest, which is the skull of a deer, it seems. Oh dear. So now, of course, we've got to go scan that deer skull over there without being spotted by the enemies. There is another group of gunners over there, though, on that rock, so we have now found 2 gunner legions. Okay, I think it's alright for now. Oh, yeah. Let's go scan them quickly. So these are diadem spiderlings, it seems. There are some... What are those? Those are the soldier termites. Oh, yes, we should avoid those as well at all cost. Let's just grab all these little pheromone points. Now, of course, the spiderlings most likely will be popping over here again in a moment. So we just have to look out for them. They're coming. They're starting to come along here. Back of the skull here. There those spiderlings are. Let's try not to be seen by them. If we are seen, we are going to retreat immediately. I think we are safe here. Here, of course, we are at the front of the skull. We are here at the nasal passage area. Now, this is the difficult part for me, is maneuvering myself like upside down. I battle doing that every single time. And now, somewhere... Oh, I think we're going to be spotted now. Yeah, we are being spotted. So I'm just going to run. Hopefully they're going to leave me alone once I'm over here. Because I need that... Oh, there's that last scent point. Okay, now it's safe to go and... I think, yes. I think we can now grab that last scent point. Right up here. There we go, we have scanned it. Let's actually have a look at the skull, but from the high ground. Alright, so looking at the skull from this side here, you can see the orbital socket over there. That's where the eye would be located. There's also, of course, this section of the skull there. That is where the lower jaw would actually slot into this area over here. And we'll be, of course, moving up and down, open up the skull. There's also, of course, a nasal passage in the front there, which we can see properly when looking from this side. I can kind of see it over there. A very, very narrow snout. This is almost certainly the skull of a deer. I don't think it says. It just says huge skull cavern. Doesn't actually tell us, but I'm pretty sure this is a deer. If I'm not mistaken, there should be antlers around as well. If this deer died while it still had antlers, and if it were a male. But there are all kinds of holes in the skull where nerves and arteries and veins and stuff will go through, will pass through. And of course you can see that the skull here consists of a whole bunch of plates that are fused together. Initially, of course, when born, like in humans, for example, the bones aren't fused yet. And then as the baby gets older, then they start fusing to one another, forming a big solid plate. Right now, remember, we are here to also scan for the termites. We are looking for nests. And surely there must be a nest around there somewhere. There is a lack of anything from that part of the map. Now let's see whether we can actually jump all the way across. I'm hoping we can. Yes, 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 we can. Now, if I were termites, I would be making a nest around here somewhere. There are lots of dead wood around. Ah, there is an antler. Okay. What are those? Are those workers? No, those are spiderlings. Ah, of course, the spiderlings always, it seems, around the points of interest. Okay, so doesn't look like there are any termites in this area. So what we are going to do is wait for these spiderlings to pass. And then we're going to jump over to the rock there. Yeah, there we go. Come over to this thing here. This antler, we can start picking up the scents over here. Let's head to the top of the antler here. We don't have very good eyesight. Normally, I mean, these diadem spiderlings, they would establish around the web of their mother, although the mother may be dead by the time they hatch. They would establish around there. They wouldn't be running around in hordes like this. Young ones most likely would be dispersing quite long distances by ballooning, which is when they raise their abdomen into the air and they produce this bunch of silk, which then gets them airborne. That gets caught in the wind and they balloon up. They travel long distances that way, disperse far away from their natal area or the area they were hatched. They would not be running around in hordes like this. And they also don't have great eyesight, so technically we could be very close to them and they wouldn't know we are there. Because, well, they've got horrible eyesight. They are a web-bound species and they rely on the web to actually catch their prey rather than their eyesight. Alright, we've got 5 of the 6 scan points, and now of course I'm upside down and again battling to find my way back. You know, with these spiderlings, I think I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk the biscuit. Get ready to run. Okay, get ready to run, get ready to run. Here we go, we're running away, running away. Run away. It says it's a weird branch, this. Of course, we know this is not a weird branch. This is, in fact, an antler of the deer. And this is the spot that it was attached to the skull. Now, antlers start out as alive. It will be covered with velvet, basically, so living tissue. As the antler then reaches its full size, it cuts off the blood supply to it, or to most parts of it. And then this just becomes a dry piece of bone. And then as the buck, the adult male deer, get ready to shed their antlers at the end of the rutting season, the antlers can be shed by the males, by the buck shaking their heads, dropping the antlers. And this is one of those antlers. Now, whether this buck dropped it, or whether it just got killed and the antler was moved over here, and the skull to over there, don't know. We don't know what happened here. There's no other part of a carcass that I can see, but I mean, it's also not coincidence that we've got the skull over there and an antler over here. I think it was killed and the bones were just kind of scattered all over the place. Now, we are going to jump over to that branch over here and make our way further along. I am really surprised that there are no termite nests. Oh, never mind. There are workers here. And there's a nest right there. I was just thinking, I find it very strange that there are no termite nests in this area of the map. But there we go, we had the termite mound right there. So if you look on the left hand side there, it does say that workers will patrol around nests. So if you see workers, well, they are going to be patrolling around the nest. You then just find the nest right there. Warriors, these ones over here, they will be moving between 2 points of interest. So we've got the skull over there and we've got the antler, and this group of warriors will be moving between that, more or less. And this group of warriors will be moving between the skull, it seems, and some other point of interest, the third point of interest. Can we ride this glowworm? Yes, we can. And the rider, can we ride it? And the rider, yes, we can. Okay, I'm doing what I didn't want to do. I dropped down to the ground. Luckily, I know the warriors are a little bit away, so we are fine. Let's head on over to this fern front. Oh, that fern front is quite far away. We are in danger. We are going to be spotted soon. So let's head on over to the stinging nettle, shall we? Because I know we can get onto the ferns from these stinging nettles. You spin me right round, baby, right round. And there we go. Alright. So we've got the gunners, of course, just below us. They're on the high ground as well, but we've got the higher ground. Oh, we may almost be detected by those gunners. Let's see, what have we got running around over there? I did see movement. Ooh, there are some workers there. That means there must be a nest around there as well. I think I do see the mound there. Now, ants won't have this great eyesight. I mean, this is amazing. We can spot the termites a mile away and their nest as well a mile away. Wouldn't have that great eyesight. But of course, also wouldn't be fun if you couldn't see at all. So, for scouting missions like this in particular, we do need to at least be able to see quite well and detect the enemies quite well. Now, I would like, very much like, to get onto this main stalk of this fern front. Come on. There we go. Okay, great stuff. Now I'm on the main front, or the main stalk going up to the top here. This poor glowworm over here, sitting on the underside of the front, did not get the memo that she should be sitting on the top of the front to attract a male. So she most likely will not be successful in attracting a partner. Oh dear, okay. We're down on the ground and there are the soldiers. Hopefully they don't detect me as I just zoom past them all. Zoom, 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 zoom. Right, so there's of course high ground over there with that stump as well. And look at that, there's another group of gunners over there. So we found 3 gunners thus far. 2 nests, so we found both nests. We need 1 group of gunners. We need to look for 1 more point of interest, which most likely will be somewhere to this side. I do like working through things methodically, like starting at one point, moving to another. And in this case, starting on the one point of the map, moving to the next. Oh, another nest. We found 3 of 2 nests. So there, of course, is another group of termite workers scurrying around the nest. They're most likely gathering plant matter, bringing it into their nest. I expect there would be some kind of point of interest up ahead. And between us and there would be a group of gunners. There we go. There are some gunners over there. So now all we need to find is the last point of interest. Now there are some warriors walking along over there, which means we most likely have a point of interest somewhere to that side. Oh, what have we got here? Workers. Oh, more workers. Interesting. We're just going to scurry along, scurry along, scurry along. Oh, this is a point of interest? Most likely would be some spiderlings. Yeah, there we go. Of course, there are some spiderlings running around here. So what? Oh, this is a whole heap of acorns. Yes. Most likely humans that put the acorns over here, because ants definitely wouldn't be able to carry around acorns like this. Just to dump it on a massive heap like this. If, in fact, the ants did gather these acorns, they would have actually put it underground, in a nice cache underground. But I think that most likely was it. I think we have managed. Oh, we need to now return to Tayukan. Okay, that was basically it. That was what we needed to do for this mission. So now all we need to do is just run back, I think, to the starting area. So what we're going to do is we're just going to not care too much about whether we are spotted or not. We're just going to run in between everybody and then zoom all over the place. Past the nests, past the workers, past the gunners, past everyone. Hello, termites. Bye, termites. And there we go. This, of course, then being the end of the mission. Victory! That is marvelous. Alright, now, that, of course, brings me to a bit of sad, but also potentially exciting news. And that is that I really wanted to do that mission, the one that has the glowworms in it, because they are so fascinating and I really wanted to chat about them before, for now at least, ending this series. So, for now at least, I'm not going to continue on with this series. It hasn't done as well as I had hoped. It's been great playing this game and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and thanks to Games Planet and Mike Croyds for the key for this game. But unfortunately, I will have to be ending this series for now. I will most likely return to it at some point as well. But henceforth, on Tuesdays, I will be having my Towers of Agaspa videos coming out. And then on Fridays, well, you'll have to see what comes out next Friday. But what I can say is that something is coming.
Okay, let's get this expedition underway.
So until then, everybody, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers!